Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about what is going to be the biggest week left in this year for the stock market. It's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of stocks that you own that report earnings, and there's going to be a couple of stocks that move a huge amount as well. So we're going to talk about this today, and also we're going to cover a little bit on Ttcf as they're reporting earnings this week as well. If you're on the Patreon, do go check this exclusive video out. I uploaded a video reviewing all the earnings from last week that I am interested in or that I own. So I talk about the likes of DraftKings on that video, Skills on that video, Corsair on that video, and a few other stocks that I don't own that I'm keeping a close eye on. That video is on the Patreon, so if you are a Patreon member, go check it out. It is about half an hour long. If you do want to join the Patreon to see this exclusive content, there's at least 2 exclusive videos a week on there, as well as a Discord of 600 members, and I also post when I'm buying and selling companies in real time. The link is in the description to join that. And as well, if you do want to start investing, there's some links to some brokers in the description like free trade or stake. Join through there, you get a free share as well. But we're going to get stuck onto the big week this week in the stock market. So there's a lot of stories here, a lot of news, not a lot of earnings that are going to report this week, so we're going to try to cover them. First of all, quite a big one on the UK side of it. S4 Capital. A lot of you guys follow this channel, a lot of you guys are probably from the UK that are invested in S4 Capital. It is a big week for them. Obviously this is my biggest UK holding. Boohoo is getting just slightly behind it now. It's very close, but still S4 Capital is my biggest position, and it is reporting its earnings this week. It is doing its Q3 results, so we'll see what's going on here. Obviously we're looking for some good positive results from them, some good growth, see how everything's going. On the share price front, I'm going to say this recently. A few people have been asking me to do like an update on S4 Capital, but there's not really anything to like update about. So maybe when we've got a Q3, then maybe I could do an S4 Capital update, I guess. But just on the share price front, I've had a few people ask me, I think, about the share price. If you are asking about the share price, I would say don't worry. Do not worry. Because you got to imagine, you know, we started buying this one, or I started buying this one around February time. So at the moment we're at like 55% up, and that's in under a year basically. That is absolutely fantastic. You know, when I bought this company, I thought, okay, I can get at least 20% return a year from this. At the moment, we're up 55%. You know, this is nearly what I expected in 3 years in under a year. So the share price on S4 Capital has been absolutely amazing. It has been an absolute phenomenal stock this year for us. Amazing gains in the portfolio, and I think a few people are a little bit spooked just because it's kind of downtrended, you know, 10% really over the last kind of month, 2 months. Do not worry. You know, this run that it has been on is absolutely fantastic. 55%, I would have took that at the start of the year, and it is very good now. It is having a bit of a cooling off phase. We can't have stocks that just go up in a straight line forever. It can't do that, otherwise it's going to have a massive correction at some point. So it is good that we've had a very good performing stock, and I'll be honest with you, I'd be very happy for S4 Capital to just go sideways for the next kind of 6 months basically. You know, unfortunately that is the stock market. You know, the 2020 was a fluke year where everything just went boom. Realistically, stocks can't do that all the time. So for S4 Capital to have a cooling off phase for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, I am absolutely happy, because I will take the 55% return I have from this one all day. So don't worry about that too much, and don't get too carried away. You know, it's had a fantastic year. It would not be a bad thing for it to go sideways. So that's one big news to be keeping out of an eye on this week. Next one, Gang. So Gang is reporting earnings. This is going to be a big one as well. Judging by Penn National and DraftKings, it could be. We've had really good earnings from Gang recently. The earnings have been absolutely fantastic. Hasn't done anything for the share price. The share price has done absolutely nothing. And it just shows you that realistically, in the short term, anything can happen. Gang has reported fantastic earnings. And in fact, the crazy thing with Gang is that when it's reported these earnings, normally it goes down. So don't judge anything off the short term. These are small caps. This time round, they will move quite a bit compared to some of the big tech that we've had recently. But yeah, Gang is going to report earnings. I don't think they'll be as good as what they have reported recently. And the thing is, they've absolutely smashed it previously and it's gone down. So we'll see what happens. You know, anything can happen. And as well as that, we have all these really big talked about stocks, small market caps that report earnings this week as well. A lot of these, because they are small market caps, they have the potential to move a big amount compared to the big market cap, so it is going to be interesting. So I'm looking at Monday at the moment. I mean, PayPal is one that I would love to own, which I don't own at the moment. AMC still gets a lot of attention. You've got Roblox, one that's very interesting. Not the valuation it's at that I would like to own it, but that's one that is definitely a lot well talked about. Lemonade, this is a very interesting business model. Potentially wouldn't mind owning this, but no chance of the valuation that it's at. Smile Direct Club, I know this one has been getting a lot of attention recently. For me, I've said that it's not one that I'm interested in. For me, I need to see this company putting in 20% plus revenue growth for me to get interested in it. It's still struggling to do it, so I'm not touching that one at the moment. And that's pretty much Zynga. I think a few people are interested in. Bit of a mobile gaming play, but I'm not too interested in that one. Tuesday, Palantir, that's obviously a massive one. Workhorse, I mean, we know what's happened to that one over the last kind of few months. But yeah, that's obviously absolutely fallen off a cliff. Big one here, Huya. So obviously, Huya at the moment, it's just been one of those where it's just been caught up in the merger, and then Chinese stocks fell off a cliff. It's just been a horrible kind of year for Huya. It's been awful. Realistically though, looking at the company has actually been putting in pretty good earnings. So hopefully there's still positive news there. It's a company that I'm down on quite a bit, but I'm not at any point panic selling this, because at the end of the day I've still got a very good company. The share price, in my opinion, to lose half its value does not reflect the company. The company hasn't halved its profit, it hasn't halved its revenue. So yeah, for me, I'm holding strong, hoping for a little bit of positive news there. See what Huya have to say about a few things, so I'll be looking at that one. Obviously, after the close, Neo, that's obviously a popular one. I think a few guys might own that one. Coinbase, I think that's been on a pretty good run recently. Upstart, that's been on a very good run recently. Fubo TV, that's been a popular one. Very interesting. I have looked into that one actually. Plug Power, Wynn Resorts, I won't mind if Wynn Resorts takes a dive off earnings. Potentially one I won't mind picking up. If I can, $80, $90 isn't bad, but $80 would be pretty good. Unity is a pretty popular one that I've seen a few people mention. Not quite got to where I would like to buy it at the moment. DoorDash, and then on Wednesday we've got Fiverr. I would not mind owning Fiverr or Upwork. I think the freelance economy is going to be massive in the next few years. So if Fiverr have some earnings that they've got really hard comparisons to beat, so I don't know if they bring some earnings out that are a bit disappointing on hard comparisons to beat, or weak guidance or something like that. Could take a dip. It's Fiverr and Upwork, wouldn't mind owning one of them, but still not at the right kind of valuations for me just yet. Next up, SoFi. This has been very popular. Don't own it myself, but I know a few people talked about it. It was on my list to do a bit of a deep dive in it, but when I got around to doing the deep dive, it's gone up, so I kind of stopped that. We've got Walt Disney, obviously the one I own. Wish, I'm not a fan of that one, but they're reporting earnings. Affirm, another company that I would not mind owning, but the valuation is just nowhere near where I want it to be. Open Door, not sure on this one. I do like the idea, whether or not I do like what Open Door are doing. I just don't know if they can get into profitability. That is my big worry with Open Door, and that's why I've not bought that one just yet. Beyond Me, obviously we know these guys have reported earnings. Obviously this is quite a big position for me. They've brought out preliminary earnings basically saying, look, it's not going to be good as what we wanted it to be. So a lot of the negativity is already priced in Beyond Meat's earnings. We've seen it with Corsair last week. Corsair brought weak preliminary earnings out, and then what happened there? The stock has been on a decent run since, so maybe Beyond Meat, unless the earnings are even worse than what we thought, that would be the only way probably for it to go down. But there's a lot of negativity priced into Beyond Meat now, so there might be something in there that does surprise us. And I mean, it probably will either be flat or go up. To go down, there would have to be some really bad news in them earnings or in that conference call. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Beyond Meat. Obviously that's one that I own. Ttcf, obviously this is quite a big one. Obviously it's quite popular on the YouTube scene. It's one that I own as well. Ttcf, this is a big earnings report for Ttcf in my opinion. The stock price has not really done too much this year. In fact, it's actually down this year so far. And the last time we had earnings was this here. You can see the absolute drop in their earnings that caused this on Ttcf, 25% basically. Yeah, that is the big thing. These small market caps do have the ability to go up 25% or lose 25% like this. Ttcf, this is a big earnings for me on Ttcf. I was very disappointed with the last earnings from Ttcf. I would probably give the last earnings on Ttcf, I can't even remember what I gave it at the time. I think I might have given it a 4 out of 10 or something. Big earnings. At the moment, they're currently expecting to have Average revenue of 63 million, lower estimate of 63 million, and high estimate of 64 million. So the range that analysts are offering, and there's only two covering it, is very, very small. So we are expecting somewhere between that 93, 94 million for Tattooed Chef. In my opinion, I want to see it get around there. If there is a massive miss on revenue, I will be very disappointed with Tattooed Chef. If Tattooed Chef comes somewhere in the 50 million range, I will be very, very disappointed with Tattooed Chef, and that will be two very bad quarters in a row for Tattooed Chef. If that was to happen, I would probably consider moving away from Tattooed Chef, because I would expect them from Q2 to now be moving forward into the 60 plus million range, especially when you consider the acquisition they made with the New Foods in Mexico. When you consider they've gone from 4,000 stores to 12,000 stores, that needs to start showing in the financials. And if Tattooed Chef come in with a very, very poor quarter, that would be very big red flags for me. So that could potentially be, this is a big quarter for Tattooed Chef. I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That is a big earnings for me, and this earnings will make a bit of decisions where I go with that stock, because a disappointing quarter here from Tattooed Chef potentially could change things around anyway. That's my thoughts on that one just at the moment. Going back onto the other earnings, not too many that I own in the rest of the week. I know a few people are interested in Grow Generation, a few people are interested in PaySafe, not ones really that I'm interested in. Tapestry is one that I do kind of keep an eye on, but I probably wouldn't buy. Celsius is a very interesting one. I like what's going on there. The revenue growth's amazing. The product's got really good reviews. They're not burning through that much cash. The problem is the valuation. The valuation is just absolutely insane on that one. So that is very high up in my want to own list, but definitely not for the valuation that it's at. That's one that's very much priced at perfection. So that is one that if they were to miss numbers, don't be surprised if that one falls a huge amount. So we'll see what happens there. After the close on Thursday, not too many ones that I'm interested in. A few people I think were interested in Blink. Coupon's one that's quite high up on my radar, but I think they just lose a bit too much money for me to buy at the moment. But it's a really interesting one. Fraudstown Motors is reporting on Thursday. Two ugly stocks there, Workhorse and Fraudstown Motors. But yeah, they've seen better days. And on Friday, not really too much I'm interested in. AstraZeneca, I guess. But yeah, overall, those are some of the big things that are happening this week. Obviously, big ones from S4 Capital, Gang, a few other companies, especially Huya is definitely a big one. Tattooed Chef, that's a big quarter for them. Beyond Meat as well. Yeah, it's a big one. There's going to be a stock that moves 20+% this week, or 20% either up or down. I can tell. A lot of small market caps, a lot of volatility there. We saw it last time with a few of these stocks. So yeah, it's a crazy week. It is the biggest week left in the year, or the last earnings. So yeah, it's like Christmas in the stock market. So the last time we'll have a big earnings week like this really until probably January, February time next year. So yeah, enjoy it. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there'll be a few talking points, but yeah, hope this little week ahead or things to look out for was useful. If it was, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.